Hello, welcome. Today we are in Nova Performance Paragliders. Today we will interview to Florina Eller. She graduated SCAM Master 2020. So, stay tuned.
So thank you for having us here, Florina. Let's start with the first question. Looking back, why did you study at FH Kufstein, the master?
So there were a few reasons I chose FH Kufstein for making my master's. One common reason was because the distance to FH Kufstein was just 1 hour away from my hometown. And then the second and main reason was I couldn't find any this format is unique, like studying sports management, event, and having some cultural related tasks I couldn't find anywhere else. So I decided I should go to FH Kufstein.
Oh, nice. And I saw you were working somewhere else beforehand. Why did you decide to study again a master?
So I did my bachelor's at MCI Innsbruck. It was great. It was a business management bachelor for leisure. And then I went in the family-owned flying school for like doing all the operative business stuff. Actually, I'm a flying instructor myself for paragliding and tandem pilot. So I grew up in a company and then jumped into the family-owned company and was happy there. And then somehow after a few years working, I thought to myself, maybe I should go back to university, get my master's, and just like gain some more knowledge about event management.
Wow, that's really, really cool. So that was probably also the reason why you were an event manager at Stubaicup. Like, is this connected?
Yeah, it's connected. The Stubaicup is like in our paragliding niche branch, which it is a very famous event. So it's annually in spring. It's like the start of the season for paragliders, and all over international companies come and present the new products.
Oh,
yeah. And so there, the ferry is we have up to 30 exhibitions, and there's a festival where people actually can like fly the equipment, and around this it's an ongoing 3 days event. Ongoing around this we have some VIP pilots who actually make some speeches. We have some show flights, and it's a cool fun weekend for every paraglider pilot and non-flyer too.
So even I could come there and try my first paragliding scary experience.
For sure. And if you want to stay grounded, we have some good food and you just look.
Okay, so I will my teammate Yuka there, she can fly and take a video.
I will take her.
Enjoy from downstairs, a beautiful view. Cool. What were you actually doing there as an event manager? Were you like playing the whole thing with your team, or what were your tasks?
Yeah, the event is organized by our local club, Parafly, and it's, as I said, the company is family owned, so our club is very family, how you say, like family, it feels like family, the club. And so our tasks are different. And at the 4 years I made the Stubaicup, it was run by my mom, and mainly I did organize everything. And now my little sister comes into the event management too, and we are just like sorting things out of who's making what and keep everything going.
Was that also a reason why you decided to do the masters in a part-time, or what was your thought process?
My thought process was like I was already in working, so I did my bachelor's full-time, and then I started to work, and I got like my expertise there, and I like working like operative a lot. And I couldn't think that I just like spent another 2 years again, just like theoretically. So that's why I continue working, and but cut it down to just being a paraglider instructor and tandem pilot. So I wasn't like running the operative business anymore. I was just like concentrating on educating some flight students.
Afterwards, you didn't really went back into the family business. You went actually here to Nova, right? And here it's like not really event orientated, it's more into the production side of things. Where did your interest in it come? What was the reasoning behind this decision?
So we have in Tyrol various paragliding companies, but Nova is like one of the big ones. And I was always flying myself a Nova glider, so I was quite bonded with the brand firsthand. And then the CEO came over and he knows me because before I was like his client from flight school perspective. And then he asked me, he said, Florina, I would have something nice going on for you, you know, you still have this structure, organizational skills, and we need somebody like you to here in a company. And I first thought, cool, there would be actually a possibility to bring all the business management skills and all the project management skills I gained at university to bring it actually in to real life, to actually,
use your skills,
use my
in
skills,
real life,
like and on a high level and in international level. Like here at Nova, we are an international company. We are selling our products worldwide, and so it's actually everything we do. We like a big company is doing. We are doing the same tasks. So we are doing. We have like distributors international. We have our production overseas. So everything we manage. Every big production company needs to manage, although we are just like a small, medium-sized enterprise. Yeah.
What are you really using from your studies? Like you said, the organizational part, of course, but do you think now, looking back, okay, was it really worth it for you to study this master? Or would you say, looking back, maybe I should have done more on the production side, looking back?
I have 100% yes that it was good for me making the masters, because it just like showed me my strengths, which I can really go to, and that I can organize myself very good. And then I have, if I have something in mind, I like keep going until it's gone. And that's a skill mainly I got like with my master thesis. When you start your master thesis, you have the goal, and then along the way you want to give up, but you do it, and then it's done. And I think like skill sets like that, it's good to have at university. Doesn't actually matter the one professor you have you don't like, or the professor you really like, or not the topics you really like to get out of the university, but just like the experience to study, make some master thesis, to keep going and actually finish it. I think that's a skill set you just get when you're at university and like read scientific texts and are capable to build your own opinion about something. I think that's a great opportunity which is developed in making a master.
Everything is a process, basically. So when you're looking at a typical day working here, is there even a typical day? Like what are you doing really?
So mainly here I'm working as a project manager and a business developer.
Yeah.
So every day it comes something up you're not thinking of when you get out of bed. So that's what I can say. Every day doesn't look the same. Of course, there are the tasks which need to be done this week or monthly tasks. But like every day is like, even here with paragliding, we are so reliant on wind and weather. My whole timetable gets sometimes blown away just because there's too strong wind and I need to reschedule everything. So there's no typical day as a project manager.
When there's so often a rescheduling of everything, basically, do you really have a chance to have a good work-life balance, or is it like basically your job sometimes taking over your whole life?
That's a good question, quite philosophical. I think it should be always a good work-life balance, but I think if the work you do gives you back some energy and you like what you do, actually it's a big part of the hours of the day you have. Yeah, as you see, it's quite, it's not about 8 hours work, and the rest hours of the day like live. I think like there's in work there should be a lot of life too in the best case.
Maybe we can now have a short look about what you're actually doing. So let's have a look. So back again here. We had now a really cool insight about what you're doing, and I think everybody who saw now the pictures gets why it is so fantastic to basically fly with the birds. That is why my next question is actually, what is your motivation behind flying there? Are you like some people who is a totally adrenaline junkie and just loves the feeling, or is it the view? Like, what motivates you to fly?
As I said before, I grew up with the sport, so actually I couldn't think of not flying. But the things with paraglider is it's not like that. You can get an adrenaline kick if you do like acrobatics and acro flying. So, but I for myself I like XC flying, so cross country flying, to thermal up and actually go with thermic over mountain ranges and have awesome views. And when my friends hike up a mountain, they need like several hours, and I with my glider, if the thermic and the weather is good, I can actually do it just in a few minutes and gain an awesome view. You need to try it, and then you know what I'm talking about. So I'm happy to take you if you want tandem flight.
So the next time we will have a video from me flying. Oh my god. Ooh, yeah, I need to get over my fear of heights, but I think the view is probably worth it.
The view of the person and just like the feeling not on the ground, and just like as you said, flying like the bird. It's so cliche, but actually it is main motivation. Yeah, the change of perspective.
When you are flying up there, are you getting sometimes like ideas about new visions of creating the paraglider? When we're talking about being part of this whole process to actually make a prototype and bring it on the market, have your really cool colleagues that are trying this out, when it's basically just try it out and mathematical sound on a computer. Like, can you talk a little bit more about this process?
So I myself, I'm not a designer of the paragliders. I'm really like in the business context here at the company, but of course I'm a pilot, and when I fly, mainly at the moment, I just fly for myself and getting into the flow and try to keep the company besides. But like it changed in the last 2 years. So when I'm now flying, I'm just like looking at the harness, how are the stitches made? Ah, yeah, they sew it nice. So it, it gets mixed a little bit. Yeah, true. But I'm not just like getting a vision up there, like flying around. That would be too idealistic. But it's just for me something where I really can relax and have a good time and just like let the emotions off and just like be there, fly there, and be in the flow. And yeah.
And how is this process basically? Like when you're starting here, you, like I said before, you have it on the computer, and then what does happen next?
Yeah, here at Nova, we made a big investment the last 2 years and invented a new designing software, or like redeveloped it, and it's now very good in simulations actually where the glider can collapse. And we now have, before actually the test pilots need to go out on the hill to test the prototypes, we now have a better idea how the glider will behave in the air if we collapse it. So that's the first thing. We design it here at the company. Philip Medicus is our chief designer. And then the test pilots get the prototype and they go out on the hill and see what actually happens in real life. So they are quite brave, cool guys. And after we are happy with the prototype, we give it to a beta testing to actually a small range of pilots and see if not just we in our bubble think this of our product, because of course our product in our bubble is always the best, right? And if we have done the beta testing, we give it out to make pre-serials and pre-serials check to our production overseas. And if this is fine and everything works out good, we get it into the market, and then it's where sales and marketing comes in. Then we release the product on the market, and then the feedback we get from the market, so we have a product life cycles from 3 to 4 years. The feedback we gain, we try to implement, of course, in the next model again. Yeah.
You probably now have some years of experience. What was there a really difficult situation with which you had to deal with, and how did you deal with it?
Of course, I think on daily basis there are sometimes difficult decisions to make, but of course then there are the big sometimes decisions to make. And from now working here at the company, I can say I have a great team. We are working very well together, and if there's a difficult decision to make, we sit together on a table and we just discuss it out, and then we have a good communication style. Try to not see it too emotional, because sometimes it is. And then I think that's the best way to get a difficult decision done, good communication.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Whether going to the direction of paragliding, or maybe going back a little bit to event management?
Of course, I'm thinking like making my 3 to 5 years plan, and always like, okay, somehow trying to get focused on it. At the moment, I'm very happy here at the company, and I like working on projects, because it's like an event, but just like not depending on 3 days event. So it's like a longer time horizon, and I like it a lot. I like the paragliding branch a lot because I grew up with it, and it's lovely people, very grounded, chill, down-to-earth people in the scene and in the branch. Even though they fly high, they are quite grounded, and I like it a lot. But I might end up someday in another branch as well, because it's just like you never know. As long as I have a flexible work day and actually can make small visions actually into real life, that's that's my how do you say
Goal in life?
Goal in life, or in work life at least, to actually see a purpose behind the things I do at work, and to have the possibility to actually bring it into real life, not just on the paper. So I'd like in job, I'd like to have always like the theoretic part, making strategy papers, like sitting over my project plans, but then as well checking with clients, check the market, how is it really going in operative life.
And with that, we come to our final question. Is there anything, any advice you wish to give us students who are still studying, who are thinking about studying the masters at FH Kufstein?
Okay, the main advice, not as I am so wise, but I think it's just like to see sometimes things not too dramatic, to see it sometimes easy, even if it doesn't is easy, and communicate along the way.
Thank you very much for this interview today. I'm looking forward to our live Q&A session later on.
Cool, looking forward to it.
Yeah, welcome back. I think everybody who enjoyed this quite a lot. We already got some really interesting questions answered, and I just wanted to invite you all to ask some more questions in the chat, since I actually kind of forgot it at the beginning, but hey, now, yeah, ask your questions. And I'm actually now welcoming Florina here with us. Hello, Florina. I'm so happy that, yeah, you could make it, even though I have heard that is like one of the busiest months in your schedule in the whole year. So thank you for being here with us. And maybe let's start directly with the first question. And that is, have you ever tried parachuting with free fall or tried a hang glider?
First of all, hi, thanks for having me. I never tried free falling, so I always take off mountains. I was once in a tandem parachute, like jumping out of the helicopter, but it was just a passenger and somebody else was the proper tandem pilot. And hang glider is still on my bucket list. Actually, I want to get the license myself one day.
Okay, wow. That's wow. Oh, so many heights, but it's so cool. Yeah, just to see also on the video how it looks. I'm still looking forward to try it out myself. You really made me curious to get over my fear of heights. But yeah, this sounds quite scary. Cool. Let's start directly into the second one that goes a little bit more into yeah, your background basically. Did you always see yourself in this environment or considered anything else? So that probably means the whole paragliding
environment. Actually, when I started the masters, I was like leaving this environment behind because I thought to myself, I'm like getting into another branch or a new environment. But then this possibility came up as a business development project manager at Nova, and then I grabbed it and said, okay, I will stay in this branch, but maybe someday I will end up somewhere else. I think it's always a process along the journey. And yeah, at the moment, I like it a lot because, as I said in the interview already, the people are very down to earth and nice, chilled, relaxed people. Actually, in the branch, which is quite nice to work in, is like everybody you got in touch with is actually having free time, relaxing, searching for fun. Not struggling with some illnesses, something else. So it's actually a nice day-to-day work place. Yeah.
Can I ask you a little bit more about which direction you were looking into? Like, was it still in the whole event business or just away from paragliding?
It was still in the event business, meant organizing big concerts or ski races. I put a target eye on this one, and yeah, but then as like actually Corona was, so there weren't huge possibilities, and then I got this very good offer from the CEO of Nova, and then I grabbed it, and at the moment I'm quite happy with the decision I made. Yeah.
Was it actually still possible for you to go flying and to go forward with the production during Corona, since it's an outdoor kind of sport? Or was it also totally shut down? You all had to go into your home office and couldn't try out new gliders?
Mm-hmm. It was like for the test pilots, it was possible to go outside and work because it was clarified by working the flying. But I, for myself, as I'm mainly just doing the project management and not depending on going flying my work, so I wasn't allowed. So I needed to stay at home in the home office.
During the interview, you talked a little bit more about the whole processes and about Nova, but could you go a little bit deeper into what kind of tasks and responsibilities you have as a project manager?
Mm-hmm. So there are defined projects in the company, which are mainly to get the new models into the market. So like if we want a new glider, it's classified. So gliders are classified from A to C, and then we want to have a new A glider, and then we have a kickoff start. We design and think about the must-have, the specifics of the model of the new model, and then I've got the timetable to get the project going. And then I need to subvise and control the designing, the production, the sales, and the marketing. And there are some people who actually then make the marketing, do the sales, but I'm in very tight dialogue with them that they actually keep up to the deadlines and they fulfill the program we sorted out. Yeah. And besides that, so there are sometimes 3 to 4 projects going on at the same time, going through the different phases of the project, like development, production, marketing, and sales. And then besides that, I am working in business development too. So at the moment, I have some strategic influence on the international sales. So we are thinking how to extend our market on international basis. And yeah, that's now a task in business development besides the ongoing projects.
And when you're having a project, when you're getting a new project in, what is the usual timeline? 4 months, a year?
Totally depends. If we want to make a new model, I think it's like at least 1.5 years before we bring it on the market. It's already on my table to get the specification and everything. And then I learned at Mark Romanelli's project management courses that there are sometimes black boxes and which you can't define beforehand, just like, yeah. And then in paragliding, we have a lot of black boxes because we're so dependent on the weather, on wind and weather. So if I plan in like for the beta test of a new product 3 weeks and all the 3 weeks there's non-flyable conditions, I actually need to send the guys somewhere where they can fly, so get them on a plane to Tenerife that they can do it over there. Or I need to reschedule and look where I can tighten any other task that I still it comes out to the same at the end, to the same deadline.
Wow, that gives me like flashbacks into our class we have at the moment, project management with Mr. Romanelli. Again, really interesting, and it's so cool to see how the knowledge we get from our studies is actually implemented then in real life. That brings me to our next question. Did you regret studying part-time instead of full-time? Would you do it differently again?
Maybe. I think then when I was especially writing my master thesis, it was quite a good program to handle. But by that time I was self-employed. So I was how can I say it? I was self-employed, so I could make my own rules. So I could say I will take the next 2 weeks, no customers. I don't do any paragliding tandems. I don't do courses because I want to focus on the thesis. I think if you don't have this flexibility, especially in the last 2 semesters, it's quite a tough program if you do it full-time, part-time, and having a normal job.
You have talked a lot about basically the family you have in the whole paragliding industry and how, knit together group you all are. How is it then for a person who wants to go into the industry and work there, but are not really there, or in a? I will ask the question. Wait, gets too complicated. Do you think we that don't really know anything of the sector, which is so specific, have a chance to work in such an environment?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I think it's totally needed as well, because like working in the branch and it's just like so focused and so narrowed and so specific that an outside view is sometimes very good. So even for myself, like I'm like not the typical paragliding scene worker, like tandem flying and then working in a company. So I did my master's, I did some other works too. I was like event management, doing sort of this thing. It's very helpful because I bring in new inputs into the branch. And yeah, I think so. I think it's very important to be outdoor affine to work in the branch. So if you're outdoor affine and sports active, then I think you can work in the paragliding scene. And then, of course, like if I want now to work in, I don't know, in the ski scene and branch, I need to get into this community too. I need to gain knowledge about how everything works. That would be then appropriate to get those skills.
And do you actually have the chance to learn a little bit more about paragliding, like to try it out yourself, different kinds of, when you're talking about tandem and so on? Or is it more like in your free time that when you're interested in it, you just have to try it?
Nah, I think last year in summer I had a practicant working for me, and then it's just like casual that you go on a tandem flight with him to actually that he gets the feeling, he sees the unique sport he's working in and everything like that. I think that's like goes hand in hand.
Wow, there are actually quite a lot of questions about your job as project manager. So back to that. When you're going through a project, what kind of phases of the projects are there?
So there are 4 main phases. So first of all, there's always a kickoff where you actually specify the project and write a 1-pager what's need to be done, just like an overview. And then there are the phase of development, like actually getting the project developed. Then it goes to the second phase, the production. There are various tasks. And then it goes to marketing. And then it goes to sales. And then we introduce it to the market. And it would be nice that like the phases would be so chronicle. So you know what I mean. Just like if I could like tick it off each by each, but it isn't. So it's quite difficult to monitor. And I have their complex Gantt to where I can have a little bit on site looking at it, and yeah.
Yeah, I think we all made this experience with our business projects. Actually, we planned something, then we had to reschedule or reintroduce something. And yeah, but it also sometimes can work out to an even better solution like we're having now. This is a little bit different than we started actually, but I think it's fantastic, and we see it through the people who are always again and again tuning in. But a little bit more about project management. Still, what have you actually learned through the years working in project management? Are there some skills you didn't have before and that you are now using every day?
I learned a lot at the beginning to see it unemotional. So if I want things to be done, I want it to be done my way, this way, and by that time. But as I found out over the years, working in a team with different team members, it's not always possible. So there will be always a delay. You can plan in some buffer times, buffer zones, still will be some delays. And then I think it's always good to have a short view on why it happened, to not make the same mistake or the same delay at the next project, but then very quickly to change the view for the solution. So look at it, why did it happen? But don't blame anyone. Just say very rational, okay, it happened, why? Okay, the conclusion is, and then you need to find the solution. That's what I found out for myself, and it helps me a lot.
I think that is actually a really, really great thing to look at problems and how to then work it out with the team. Since look at the problem and not at any blame game, but find out a solution where everybody can work with. So how do you then integrate the customer experience in your product?
So our main distributor or our main clients are flying schools, because they got the fresh students and then they sell our products. We don't do a B2C. We don't do B2C, we just do B2B. And so we are in very good dialogue with flight instructors who actually test our products. And then we get the feedback from them. So before we introduce the product into the market, we have the beta testing where we actually give to people or flight instructors or experts our product to get a feedback. And then we have the feedback from their point of view. And then, of course, we have surveys about our project, about our products. And we do like go to festivals. So we have a lot of events going on at Nova too. We go to festivals, we organize ourselves some festivals, and there sometimes I go there too to actually be in contact with the end consumer. Or we have some cards which we hand yeah, to get the feedback back to the product.
Yeah, you are back. Everything okay? There was a small hang up, but we could understand everything, I think. So everything okay. When you're speaking about customer experience, and do you actually have like custom made, like for one person, paragliders where somebody comes up and has like, here, I have an idea, I want to have this glider, which is not like for like everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, at the moment we do have. In our team, there is Theo de Blick, the current acrobatic world championship winner. And he needed an acrobatic wing. We don't have the product to sell to any customers. We just made it specific for him. So he gave to our chief designer, Philip Medicus, his ideas, and Philip then designed a glider just for him. But that's not the usual procedure. It's very specific, made for him. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Can I quickly ask, like, I don't know if you can even talk about this, if it's like a secret or so, but what is then the difference in like a normal glider? Is it like quicker that you can pull the sides and that you can turn quicker, or how is it then different to normal gliders?
Yeah, it's very different than to a normal glider acrobatic wing. I just can say you some details on the surface because I'm not so into the whole designer thing myself, but the line lengths are longer, the profile is more stable, and it's just like a less square matter than a usual glider, and it's more agile and more aggressive than a usual glider. It's made especially for flying acrobatics.
What are the biggest hurdles you have to cross when launching a new product?
There are a few, especially the timing and getting the production done by time, because that was like in the past few months and years, like our main issue coming from Corona, like all the supply chains got longer, everything, the delivery times got longer. It was not very proper communicated to us. So that is, getting production done in time. I think that's the biggest hurdle.
Thank you very much. At a quick look at the time, we are actually now coming to our last question, and that is a question that seems to, interest everybody each session again. How do you balance job and family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's, as I said already in the interview, in the best case, your job is already part of what gives you energy back, that you don't run on a 12-hour day, then come home and then buy some groceries, cook something, do the laundry and everything. And I think it's, how do you say, boundaries are very important as well. Like I started to have my work calendar and my private life calendar, and I really set the strong boundary, like I do this and then I do that. But meanwhile, I implemented both because I just have like the 24 hours a day, and it works better to have one calendar, because then you can manage your energy as well. So if I have like an important meeting that day, and after that as well some challenging work tasks, I once set myself a timer at night to go for a 10K run because my energy level is probably already not the 100%. And yeah, that helps me.
10K, wow, that's a long run. Actually, one more question. When one of us is now super excited about paragliding, how could we actually start it? Are we just going to a school and say like, hey, I want to do this, and then somebody takes us up there and we are going down? Or what is your tip for us to check out one of the coolest experience up in the sky?
So as I see from the names, it's quite international. You need to know that each country has got his own permits and procedures how to learn paragliding. For example, in French, it's vol libre. You don't need a special licensing. And in Austria or Germany, you need to go to a school, run through the learning sessions and get the license, like you get the car driving license. And yeah, I think it's always good to go to a school, learn proper skills there, get the license, and then yeah, the easiest ways to try it is go on a tandem. And yeah.
How exciting. Florina, thank you very, very much. I'm looking forward to go up with you in the sky. And yeah, thank you for answering all of our questions, especially into the project management side of things. I think, yeah, a lot of us got a lot of inspiration for our future careers out of this interview. So thank you for that, and we wish you a wonderful, busy, cool month with new products and wonderful weather so that you can go up into the sky. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me. It was a pleasure as well to have you at the company, and you give me a call anytime you want to go for a flight.
I will do that. So, everybody, thank you that you have joined us all today for our last session of this semester. We will be back next semester, but to actually implement whatever you want to give us with us on our way, we asked you for your feedback. And of course, so that you don't go empty-handed, we have some vouchers for the cinema here in Kufstein or wherever you are living. So look into the chat, click on the formula, on the link, open the form, the cheat formula is in physics. And give us some feedback, give us some ideas about what you want to hear next semester. And we hope to see you soon again. Thank you everybody for being here and enjoy the summer. Bye-bye.